Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast. We're super excited to have you here today with your hosts, Jin and Yaz. And today we have got an incredible pharmacist, Ebun, from the founder of Society of STEM, and we can't wait to hear all about it. So let's get straight in. Good
Hey,
morning, Ebun. How are
good
you?
morning. I'm well, thank you. Really happy to be here today.
Amazing. We're so excited to have you on. So, generally, with all our podcasts, we usually love to dig deep and really get into it. So, do you want to introduce yourself to our audience and kind of tell us where it all began?
Okay, wow. Yes, my name is Ebun. I'm currently a clinical pharmacist and I'm the founder of Society of STEM. So, where did it all begin? There's a very long story. I don't know how long you want this intro to be, but I'll try and make it like short. So started at the University of Reading, studied pharmacy. So when I came out, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I started off locum. And my journey has been quite interesting because I've tried a lot of things in pharmacy. I've done mental
Amazing.
health pharmacy, palliative care. I did a stint in online pharmacy. Where else did I go? I did some healthcare consultancy work as well. And now I'm in PCN pharmacy. So it's been sort of I would say roller coaster, but it's been a fun journey and I've learned a lot. So now, as you mentioned, I'm the founder of Society of STEM, which is an organization that just helps to make STEM careers more accessible to the younger generation. Because for me, for example, growing up, I didn't really know what STEM was. I didn't know what pharmacy was. I didn't know like I could be a pharmacist. So what I just want to do is just to kind of bring that world to people that may not have access to it.
That's amazing, honestly. And I can't wait to dig in a bit deeper. So, let's take it all the way back to, um, if you don't mind, talking about why you chose pharmacy in the first place. And then from then on, if you could kind of unpick a bit, how did you get your first role, like during pre-reg and then so on? And I think that would be really insightful for our listeners.
So originally, I didn't actually want to be a pharmacist. I wanted to study medicine. So I did my volunteering, I did my work experience, but then when I was doing it, I realized that this kind of wasn't for me. So I liked the clinical side, but just the whole aspect of hospital life, I just, yeah, at the time I was like, no. So one day somebody came into my sixth form college and she was a pharmacist and she started to speak about what pharmacists do and I was in awe. I was like, wow, this exists. I thought that you just go there with your green prescription and it's magic, but the process behind it, she really explained it and I was like, this is what I want to
Amazing.
do. Like something just clicked and I was so happy and grateful for that, for my sixth form to organize that. And I think that's kind of what I lean on today because I always say if she didn't come into my college sixth form, I don't think I would have gone down this route. So I just want to
Mhm.
be that person that she was. I don't even remember her name, I don't remember anything about her. I just remember her speaking about pharmacy. So I think that was the start of my journey.
Yeah, so just kind of, so you went to the University of Reading, you obviously completed the M-Pharm, and then after that, where did you go for pre-reg, and how did
Oh
you
yes,
find that
yes.
transition? And yeah, what led you down that path? I think it's really interesting if you can pull any kind of key memories that sort of guided you down to where you ended up today.
Okay, perfect. So I decided to do my pre-reg in London. I wanted to be close to home because I missed home. So I did it in community pharmacy. It was about 20 minutes from my house. I was like, oh, this is
Amazing.
perfect. So I can be close to home. And honestly, the difference was a lot because community pharmacy was an independent pharmacy, so I had a lot of responsibility. Obviously, the my supervisor pharmacist would check what I was doing, but I felt like I was thrown into the deep end. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what I was doing, so it put a lot of pressure on me to kind of study a lot. And I think not I overdid it, but I think I was very overwhelmed with the reality of I have people's lives in my hands. I think at university because you're around your friends,
Mm,
you go to lectures and you can go meet up with your friends. It doesn't feel that intense. But definitely being in community pharmacy, I realized, okay, this is reality. After my pre-reg, I stayed doing locum in, and I think that's what really grew me as a pharmacist, because when you locum in some places, it could be you and a dispenser.
Hmm.
I remember one place I went to, I didn't know the system, I've never used it before, and I've got a queue of patients. In about 5 to 10 minutes, I've got to learn the system.
Yeah,
You can't really. Fair enough, like there should have been more support, but the kind of person I am, I'm a doer. I don't like to complain. I like to really just get stuck in. So those few instances, like being in really busy pharmacies and having to manage but still be safe, clinically,
yeah.
I think those experiences really grew me and shaped and molded the type of person I am today, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
amazing.
that is amazing. And I think there's two really key things that you've said there that we can pick out. And I don't know how you feel, Jen, as well, but that feeling of when you step into real life from university is huge. And yeah, different people really kind of deal with that responsibility different. Jim, what's your take? Because you're
Yeah,
obviously in
like
hospital.
yeah, it's kind of the same, right? Everyone is that university kind of lifestyle in your head, and then full on job the next day, essentially. But what did it was really interesting to understand. You said you felt so overwhelmed during that time. When you look back at it now, like what was your key kind of takeaways for you to get through that period? Because it is difficult. It's kind of long year. Yeah, what was your key takeaways if you're going to look at that person now and give some advice to them?
Um, I would probably say to myself to be more organized, um, because I think being overwhelmed and feeling pressure sometimes is due to a lack of preparation and a lack of organization. So, the BNF, we don't know what that is. People say you've got to read the whole BNF 3 times to pass your pre-reg. And, I'd started and I said to myself, I can't really learn like this, because everybody was doing it. But for me, it
Mhm.
just didn't work.
Yeah.
So I think I wasted a bit of time kind of trying to cram everything. But going back, what really helps for me is thinking about real life scenarios and putting it into practice. So, practice tests and things like that. So I probably would have kind of started that a bit earlier. So I think what I would take away is knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Don't try and be like everyone else, because it just won't work for you. So you really have to know, how do you study? Some people are more visual, some people are, practical learners, some people like to listen to maybe YouTube videos. So I would tell myself to calm down. Don't do what everybody else is doing, and just, know your rhythm, know what works for you.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And it's a lesson about life, really. Like,
Mhm.
with the more we know ourselves, the more we can go down the path and our own path, and stick to our own lane and not all the other
Yeah.
lanes that everyone else is in and thinking we have to keep up. And when you go down your path, as you're going to share in a bit, because you enjoy it and it's what you want to do, you naturally learn more about it, you're naturally good at it, and you naturally excel at it. And it's not the same path as maybe everyone else. But yeah, so that'll be really interesting to hear about.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, there's something to say about having the courage to veer away from what everyone else does, because innovation is born from
Yeah.
people just, basic innovation are is an anomaly because it's somebody just doing something that has affected them and pushing forward and then realizing that there is a group of people that feel the same way. So yeah, that's so interesting. And I think yeah, it's even now though, coming back to that, where we have people's lives in our hands. I don't think that feeling ever goes away. But I
Goes
think
away. Yeah.
No, it
no,
doesn't.
exactly. But I think, sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say that I think sometimes it can feel like just a job, but I think what makes us special, I would say, is our is it meticulousness?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're taught to be very meticulous, So I think that is something they kind of instill that in you in university. So whether or not you feel like, okay, this is just a job, I don't know, but that part of being meticulous and being very, very careful, um, it sticks with you, and you realize that you have to actually be like that because this we're humans. There's error. So I think that part of the what we're taught is really important. And they always say, oh, pharmacists, you're so extra, why do you want to check everything, why do you want to? I'm like, we have to, it's part of it. The skills we have actually saves lives. So I'm just really proud to have this career, to be honest. I actually love it.
It's so right, right? Like, and I feel like that meticulousness that we have instilled in us actually supports our problem solving skills because we can meticulously iterate different scenarios really quickly to know whether the end goal is going to be risky or not. And I think that's really, really important in our job role, whichever sector we go in. But kind of bringing it back. So then, after you did your pre-reg, what kind of journey did you take next?
Yes. So after the pre-reg, I was on a locum journey, went all over different places. Like I said, that's what really grew me. But
Mm,
then I was like, okay, what's out there? What's next? So I actually got headhunted for a health tech company. They were looking for like a
amazing.
young kind of analyst person with a healthcare background to come in. And I've never really done like data analysis before, and I like challenges. So I was like, okay, let's try this maybe for a year. Let's just see what it's like. So it was really fun. It was an app that they were launching, so I helped build that and analyze the data
Amazing.
and kind of do the implementation as well. So it was good to see like the business side of healthcare per se. Um, yeah, so I did that, and then what happened after? Then I went back into locoming for a bit. Also did some online pharmacy, but then I realized that in my clinical journey, I needed to grow.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, let me get into hospital pharmacy because I think, I would learn more there. And whilst in hospital pharmacy, I did my prescribing course as well. I did it in hypertension. Um, and for me, that was a really, really hectic experience working full time and also doing the prescribing course. But I did it anyway. And following, once I completed the prescribing course, that's when I landed into PCN pharmacy. So I've been there for about 3 years now,
Amazing.
and yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Amazing. And do you have any advice for we know moving cross sector can be quite difficult. Do you have any advice for anyone coming from community background that wants to kind of grow clinically and move into either a PCM role or a hospital role? Any kind of key things that they should sort of have or look for?
Yeah, definitely. I think what really helped me, I'm very inquisitive and I believe in asking questions. I can be very annoying, but for me, I just think you can't be. It is daunting, but it's. I always say this. This is one of my sayings that if it's been done before, it can be done again.
Hmm.
So what that is to me is somebody's moved from community to hospital before, so that means I can do it. So there's a lot of resources out there. Just learn as much as you can, but also ask questions. So there are people in places like of supervision that are there to help you. So I personally, I make sure I use that, and I'm not scared to ask questions because at the end of the day, I feel like I want to grow in this position. So I'm going to use the tools around me that I have. So I think it's really important to use what's around you, ask questions. It can be scary. I remember um, being like a hospital pharmacist by myself for the first day after the training period, and it was different, and sometimes it might take you longer to do things, but at the end of the day you'll get there. But just make sure you ask questions and you do your research and do what you need to do.
Yeah, so good. It's like being curious is literally the key skill in life as well. And just what do you enjoy most about the PCN role?
I think i think what I enjoy most is obviously having done the prescribing course. I'm able to have my own clinics. So I work within obviously my area of competency of hypertension. And for me, you have patients that you see along the way. In community pharmacy, it's kind of like, okay, you've just given them a prescription. Even in hospital, sometimes people don't stay that long. But in PCM, I feel like I really do see the journey and seeing them get
Hmm.
better. For me, that's very rewarding to be like, oh, I was part of this. We can start a new medication. Let's see if it works. If not, what are we actually doing? What's your diet like? What's your lifestyle like? Are you stressed? I feel like you can really get, into the nitty gritty of things. And, having seen someone go from a really high blood pressure to, a normal blood pressure, and it wasn't overnight, maybe over the course of about 2 months, but having, that continuous conversation, dialogue, I think for me, that's probably the most rewarding thing.
So good, because it's so clear to see that you're so you just get yourself stuck in there, see what happens, kind of do your best at it, and yeah, and hopefully that you succeed, and you have clearly shown. And what's the most kind of difficult part in your role as a PCN pharmacist?
Um, the most difficult part, that's a good question. I think sometimes not knowing the answer for me,
Mm.
because a lot of times in PCN or GP practice, there's not much. Sometimes there's not much you can do. You have to refer. People have to go to hospital. People have to go to secondary care. So I feel like for me, that's quite difficult. Is that okay? I can't really do anything for you. I want you to be better, but there's nothing else. You have to move up. You have to be referred to a specialist. I think for me, not knowing the answers, not being able to help somebody, and I understand you can't do everything. We're not superhuman, but yeah, I think that will probably be the hardest thing.
It's so hard, when you don't know, and it's like
Mm,
Yeah, it's just
you're, yeah, it's just like,
nothing I can
what do you
do.
do? And that is life. Like we sometimes just don't
Yeah.
know, but the other person is expecting us to know. But I guess the
Mhm.
best thing out of that is to know where to kind of signpost and yeah, and
Definitely.
use the people around you because yeah, life is like a team kind of
Yeah.
way. So just use the things around you.
exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. You know what? I was just sitting here thinking, you're incredible. Like,
yeah,
it's amazing.
Who,
You're
me?
literally you're literally a force
literally,
of
yeah.
honestly, a
You've
force
done
of
everything.
nature. And you haven't let anybody or anyone or anything like diverge you away from your curiosity, from the way you've just kind of like plowed through life, and I absolutely love it. I think it's
Oh
amazing,
wow,
honestly.
that's
And
so nice.
honestly, it's amazing to kind of unpick this with you and really see, because I think a lot of the times we can get, we know it. We've seen loads of people on social media, on different conversations you have. Oh, pharmacies this, pharmacies that. We can't really, why would you do it now? Da da da. But actually, it's people like you, people like us that really promote the profession and kind of support the positivity that's within. And to be honest, the degree, you are a clear demonstration of the degree that we obtain. We can do anything with it. So
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Look how
Thank you
many
so much
sectors
for
you've
kind of,
been in. You've literally been in like all sectors from like the
honestly,
transport
What's
kind of
funny,
side.
it's like I didn't plan it. It just everything just happened. But I'm really grateful that when I do speak to people, I can take them on a journey. And
exactly.
I think for me that's quite unique, and I'm happy. But it just shows like you can't really. I know we can make plans, but sometimes they don't really happen. But it is just important to go with the flow as much as possible. Um, which can be hard for pharmacists because we're very logical, we're very
Exactly.
organized, we like things in a particular
Yeah.
way. But I've had to really learn that, okay, sometimes if an opportunity is there, you might take the risk. And not all the time. You weigh out obviously the options, but sometimes you do have to kind of, take certain risks. So I think looking back has been quite beneficial.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
no. And we say that a lot as just sorry, yes. Because like we'd like to plan so much sometimes, especially in our kind of lives and in our jobs as pharmacists, and we be a very logical approach to stuff. We take step by step and everything, and the
Hmm.
way we treat our patients stuff. But you just think sometimes life has a different kind of plan for us. And like the more you take those opportunities, like you say, the more the doors open for the next thing. And it's sometimes better than you imagined. You can't plan it in
Exactly.
your head, and it's way better than you imagined it to be. And that just shows in like your career now. Like I bet before you wouldn't even imagine this. It was better than what you thought because you've gone through all the sectors pretty much. And now you're figuring out what you want to do and dive into, and you're so passionate about it. It just shows and you enjoy it. And isn't that just life? Like you just want to enjoy it and do your best. And yeah,
You
Exactly.
do.
A
to
You
job,
know,
need
well
to.
done.
exactly. A job shouldn't be a job. It should just be kind of, something that you enjoy that you do day to day and you're obviously earning money for. But one of the questions actually I get asked a lot is how does a pharmacist or a member of the pharmacy team get into health tech? So I kind of want to ask your take on it, Ebon, too, about
Mhm.
what yeah, like with the data analyst role. I know you said you got headhunted, but how did that all come about? Or did you put yourself in a particular position or post on social media that they could find you? Or can you give any advice? Because when I get asked that question, I find it really hard to answer.
Yes. So, how did I? Looking back, I think I was just, it was a random, oh, let me just see if there's anything outside of pharmacy. So, I would have probably signed up to like a few job boards or things like that.
Hmm.
So, it was a recruiter from one of the job boards that actually reached out to me and explained the role. So, it was kind of a junior position. So, it may be that obviously it didn't really match the pharmacist salary at the time, but I took a risk because I wanted to learn and I wanted to,
Hmm.
see another side of healthcare. So I think maybe sometimes lowering your expectations, if you can. Obviously, everyone's situation is different. Um, and just really putting yourself out there. Sometimes you would have to do a bit of digging, seeing, maybe reaching out to people on LinkedIn, having those conversations. And I know that there's a lot of sort of information now on social media of how people can get into certain areas. I think you would have to do a bit of digging, I would say.
Just what come to mind there? Like, was it sometimes when you stop your vote, like for example, I don't know, people go to travel and then you have to go back into clinical pharmacy and stuff. And obviously, this was different. It wasn't a normal trajectory of pharmacy. Then were you worried that when if you wanted to get back into pharmacy, like if that would be difficult, and how was that for you? Because did you go into PCN after that? Was
So
that difficult? Yeah.
yes, so I don't think it was difficult, because I'd had about 2 years working as a pharmacist. I feel like I really before I went into the health tech company. So I feel like I kind of had my base foundation. So it wasn't difficult for me. It was just like, it was just different. It was like, oh, working a 9 to 5 is, in an office, corporate office is very different to,
Hmm.
being in a pharmacy. So I think it just took a bit of adjusting, but it was fine. I think after the health tech, I went back into locum until I could kind of figure out what I wanted to do. Um, but it wasn't difficult. It was just a bit of adjusting, I think.
Just hats off to you because a lot of people find
Honestly.
that kind of hard to kind of navigate. Be like, okay, maybe I can't do that because might not get easy. I might not get a job in clinical pharmacy or the normal trajectory, and
Yeah,
so I'm not sure if I'll take it. And obviously, second of all, like being scared to in a new environment, the fear and your thoughts
yeah.
kind of going around: shall I do it? Shall I not? So no, hats off to you because that's incredible.
And I think as
It,
well, we're quite lucky to have the locum in part. I think obviously it was better back then, but we won't get into that. But it is kind of a good sort of way to like figure out what you want to do without the
Yeah.
commitment of a permanent job. So I think I was very, very grateful to have that opportunity as well.
Amazing. So let's get in to the Society of STEM. Tell us all about it and where it started. Obviously, you mentioned that you met, you saw the talk from the teacher, well, the pharmacist in sixth form. So yeah, take us through the journey and yeah, just where it's at the moment.
Okay. So yeah, it just really started as, I had done a few talks in schools just here and there before, but for me, I just kind of wanted something that was a bit more broad. So, I just felt like speaking to people and having conversations with people, they don't really know what STEM is. Um, and they don't know that they can do it. They don't know that it's possible. So I just said,
Do you want to
okay,
go into that just as you're speaking? Like, what is STEM for our
STEM.
listeners?
Oh, so STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. So it's a group of subjects that fit under that umbrella. Um, so I classify myself as a STEM professional. I know maybe there may be a bit of debate our pharmacists understand, but I think we are because we deal with science. There's digital pharmacy. There's
Same.
all sorts of
Mm,
things. So I would classify it as STEM. So I just said, okay, I just feel like people don't really have access to this, and it just started off as we just did some events, where we got people together and just had some discussions. Um, and I was fortunate as well to have some opportunities to speak in schools. I recently, over the summer, just did a summer school, a STEM summer school for children 8 to
amazing.
14. And for me, we did it at Imperial College. And being able to take these people there, take the children there, and they're just looking around like, wow, what is all of this? Like, this is amazing. And on a
That's
normal day, they
incredible.
wouldn't see this. So it's like, for me, I see myself as really bridging that gap. And just when opportunities come, just being able, I just take them. When I can talk in schools, when I'm being asked to be on a panel for an event, I just take the opportunity because for me, I'm just somebody that I just want to give back. I just want to
Hmm.
continuously pour into the younger generation that may not have access to a pharmacist or somebody that knows certain information. So I think, yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. We're just taking the opportunities. We should have an event at the end of the year, and yeah, that's it at the moment.
That's amazing. So, what type of schools, I guess, do you go into? And is it just around the area you are, or have you expanded across the country? And also, how can we help? We would love to kind of support, get involved, anything we can do. This is absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you so much. So right now we are based in London, but there's a fingers crossed exciting opportunity that I'm kind of working on at the moment. That's going to be across the country. So I think I'm just taking it one step at a time. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself because I know that
Mm,
I want things to be perfect, but I'm just literally taking each day as it comes. And yeah, I know that there'll definitely be a time that we do something together, whether it's an event or a presentation. I'm not sure what it is. I'll definitely have a think. I think it would be lovely to do something with you guys.
No, what's so it'll be so good. But I'm just thinking, how do you like manage all of this? Like,
literally,
because it's like it feels like a lot,
Um,
and it's so nice
literally.
because you enjoy it. I can like feel it. But yeah, how do you manage all the Society of STEM stuff, your PCM work, and other things in the background?
that is a very good question, and I asked myself that question as well. I think when you enjoy something, it doesn't feel like work. So I'm fortunate enough to enjoy my job and I'm fortunate enough to be passionate. So I think that passion is sort of the fuel for me, but I've really had to learn to be organized. So I have a diary. I use the notes app on my phone for everything, reminders. Yeah, just I have to be
Is there
very,
any
very
cool apps you
organized.
use?
Sorry?
Is there any cool apps you use?
Notions app is
Notion's
very,
good.
very
Just nice,
helpful.
yeah.
And I just literally, the actual notes app on my phone, I think if I have a thought or if I have something, I'm just typing it down. I've got so many notes. And if I think about something, I just type it and then I can go back to that. And I just carry my iPad if I'm out, carry it out with me. So if I can do some work, do that. And like you said, it is really hard because you still want to go to the gym, you still want to
Yeah.
chill out, go out with your friends. So it is a lot. I just think I've just had to be organized, and sometimes I realize I can't do everything. I have to say no sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, just for, your mental health
Yeah.
is important as well. I don't want to be burnt out. I'm lucky. Yeah, I think I have a really good job set up where they are quite flexible. If I want to, if I have to be at an event or at school, they're quite accommodating. So I think I've been very fortunate in that aspect.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And it's like what you just mentioned at the end. You kind of have to be open and honest with your like current employer and like work with them. Sometimes we get a bit scared to be like, oh, would they like it or not? But the more you
Yeah,
kind of work with them and it seems like it's working for you. And you mentioned about boundaries, which is so important. And in
Hmm.
this kind of day to day, we forget that. But yeah, saying no when you can, just so that it's a yes for you and your kind of mental health. So yeah, no, incredible.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
definitely.
amazing. Um,
Should we
yeah,
wrap up?
I'm just so in awe. I have no words literally in my mouth. I'm just kind of like taking
Oh,
everything in. But I think it's absolutely amazing, honestly. And thank you so much, Evan, for coming on and spending the time with us to be able to share your story with everybody, our listeners, with us. And we feel
no, I
so
really
privileged to
loved
be able
it.
to
Really nice chat.
honestly. Thank you. Yeah, it's just been, we feel so privileged just to have you on and be able to kind of dig in deep, and for you to allow us to be and listen to your journey. And honestly, anything that we can do to help support, promote Society of STEM, please let us know. Because we would more than happy be, to, yeah, give back literally.
No, that was good.
Honestly, that was incredible. Thank you. Yeah, I love that.
No, it's good. It's like you think about it, like literally, like what from this kind of uh, what's it called, discussion from this chat. We've kind of it's like you literally should just follow your intuition and what is guiding you, and that's what you've done. And you've taken risk, as you said. You ask questions. You don't know if they'll come back to you, or like there's LinkedIn kind of people you've reached out to. What's the worst that can happen? Like you said, they don't reply or they don't even know you. Why does it matter? And you've just literally planned out, or like you've got your career that you have now, and I'm sure you've got so much more else to give. But yeah, it's incredible.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. So I guess we'll wrap up there. Thank you everybody for listening to this week's episode. And we're really excited to have you. Oh, we'll tag all the contact details under this episode anyway. But thank you again so much and bye everybody.
Thank you. Bye.